Okay, that was really interesting. Finding those paleo malls. Now what do we got here? That was clearly going to be turned into a tool, another tool, because that was napped out. There's a point I was struck right where my thumb is, right there, struck there, and the piece popped out, and voila. So we're going to turn this into a spearhead, I think. Another one of these. I will say that's the type of awl, and they were used for working on hide. Yeah, as you can see, that's a pretty slim looking arrowhead. That's almost thin as a razor. I think this was used for working on hides, because they had to have really, really super fine cutting tools to do that. Here's another, that's another paleo point. But I'm really looking for is my Folsom point. I want to see it again. Yeah. Ooh. Well, that's no accident. That is a late archaic arrowhead. That's chert. Well, that's the first sign of, the very first sign of Folsom. Yeah. This definitely was a Folsom tool. They were using it for its edge. Now this stuff here is 10 times harder than the stone I made the axe with. That's why this was a precious stone. Now, yeah, I already spotted it right over there. One real nice. Oh man, that is a nice point. This here looks more like a knife than an arrowhead or spear point, because you would have put a stick, attached a stick to it, and that would have given you this blade. They would have carried it just like we carry jackknives. Any fossils? Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Now I'm looking for ornaments too. Now ornaments, what they would do is take a little stone like this, and they would make holes in them. So, yes, I want to keep my eye open for that. Folsom. This is Folsom. This is 10,000 years old. Silly me. I'm in the right neighborhood. This was fluted out. It was something that they didn't finish, but they were going to finish at some point. Maybe they just dropped it or it fell out of their hunting bag or something. I am in the right neighborhood of that Folsom Point. I know I am. My spider senses are tingling. Oh wait, I didn't say that. I certainly hope I find that other Folsom piece though, because it was a beaut. It was a beautiful example. Well, that is a paleo point there. It was, but it's not Folsom. Yeah, that's another piece. So this here is Maritime Archaic. It's probably used in this is notched. They could have used it in net making too, you never know. That could be an early okay. Couple little crabbies. Little accidental stone. See what else is hiding under here. I'm going to call this is a Maritime Archaic. Part of a harpoon style head. Yeah, once you get out here and get into this sort of stuff, you really get hooked on it. There's no question about it. What is this? Seems to me this might have been I will say, I would have said the handle was broken off, but look how carefully that is notched. This was mounted into a sturdy handle. And it was an axe. It was used as an axe. I'm going to make that guess. Very early axe. Archaic axe, I should say. Paleo-Indian axe. There is a difference. You've got your axe, your maul, and a little maul. Now, if there was warfare between any certain groups of Paleo-Indians, I'd say these weapons here would have been their first choice. But considering how few people there were living in the region at the time, I don't think their purpose was warfare. Their purpose was not warfare. It couldn't have been warfare. it just could not have been only for warfare because there wasn't enough people to fight with. Now, where was it? I was down here. I think those mauls and picks and stuff like that were used for breaking bone and wood and stuff. That's what that was for. This is the remains of someone's knife. Stone knife, of course. Yes, it is. It's very old. This used to go down to a nice edge, and there used to be an antler handle on this end or a wooden handle on this end. And that's one of the, see, this is like the basis of a rat tail knife. Only this one is, I'm going to call it Archaic period, upper Archaic period, between 6,000 years old and 3,000 years old, somewhere along that line. Well, I can't really go back in time to, I wish I could, to check it out, but here's an old Archaic point. Something like this would have been used on mammoth or bison. What's hiding under this rock? Oh, my finger slipped off it. Oh, please, 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 let me find some ornaments. Anything that has holes in it. Anything that looks like it has a drilled hole. This could be an accident in nature. I don't know. Well, that's not. That was a point. I think that was an atlatl point at one time, because it comes to a crude point up here. Those hunters, all they cared about was whether something would make a hole in an animal hide. Something thrown with enough force. Well, here, this used to be a point, a spear point or a atlatl point. The tip broke off, but I think that was Maritime Archaic, that one. Ooh. Same thing again. I'm pretty sure this was a Maritime Archaic. Now that would have been, well, it could be Paleo-Indian too, because they knew how to work with this stuff. That is an atlatl head. Well, didn't find nowhere yet. Oh, I'm sorry, crab. No, that was nothing. I have to hope and pray that it doesn't. R-A-I-N. Because if it starts raining, that means I have to put the camera away, and I don't want to. This has a really neat line in it. I don't know what they were going to do with it. No idea. What's this? You know what? Well, it's not an accident. I think this used to be... Oh, wait. I think this used to be a pick. And this pick used to be on a... used to be handled. I mean, there was a handle secured to this, and it was used as a pick. Okay. Yeah, even some of the little stuff I'll look through it because you never know when you're going to find something important. That is a nice biface. It's actually, this is a finished spearhead. This is what they used on the on mammoths. On the Pleistocene game, that's what they used that on. And you can tell this is one beautiful, my soul. When they rub these edges sharp, this was, well, they wouldn't have any problem getting their animal. Well, since I'm right here, I might as well look around. This looks like it's a broken tool of some kind. They're broken off here, sharpened there. Maybe someone's knife at one point, I don't know. Listen to this rock. That's a kimberlite igneous rock. Super heavy. This weighs 8 pounds, maybe 9 pounds. I'm just guessing. All I can tell you, it's super heavy. Yeah, I would love to find art. Well, that's not an accident. Another one of these Paleo malls or Paleo Indian malls, Paleo Indian pick. This is a wowzer. This looks like, well, look, this could have been someone's axe at one time. Very easily. Scraping tool, maybe. Maybe it was a scraping tool. Hard to say. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind these Dunlop boots. They're very expensive, but my God, they're worth it. They're worth it. Definitely. You can stand on ice all day. Now this rock here, I remember this one. It's this is really, really super heavy. Oh, sorry, crab. Ooh, that's no accident. That was one very skillfully fashioned. This for if you're skinning something or dressing meat, cutting meat up, or skinning a hide off it. You would want something that. That's almost like a scalpel edge. Yeah, that was a point. That was whoa. That almost looks style like a barb. I'm gonna guess it's Maritime Archaic. Is that over this area already? I don't know. Well, that's no accident. This here was fashioned almost like a chisel. An adze, a chisel. This here was made by man. Definitely made by man. Paleo Indian, that's what I'm thinking. This is from the Paleo Indian period. That's a nice find. Extremely nice find. I have found lots and lots of arrowheads like this. Now, the archaic culture used a lot of this because they were hunting animals of a different variety. They were hunting in forests. The Atlatl didn't prove all that useful in forests, so they went to the bow. Okay. So they needed strong bows and arrows with smaller tips, so they could get the arrow to go between trees, between tree branches. I don't know what that is. Maybe just a broken rock. It could have been, maybe it's just a broken point. That's what I'm thinking. That might have been a point too. But I would like to find more balsam stuff. That would be nicer. Huh. Well, I know I saw this before. I know this was fashioned by, I'm going to bet that this is Maritime Archaic and they used it as a whetstone. They held it in their, they would hold it in their hand and they just keep rubbing their arrowheads on it until they got nice sharp edges to their arrowheads or spear heads, ladle heads. I'm just not quite sure yes, I'm not quite sure of all the game that the Maritime Archaic hunted. And this is an Archaic spear point. It looks like it. That's what they would have used. This looks like it was used for mammoth and stuff like that. Late Pleistocene stuff. Now this would have been in that ladle head. Oh, I believe it would have been very lethal. That might have been in that ladle head.